Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to our webcast this evening. My name's Brian Murray, the Director of Travel here at AAA, and I really want to thank you for spending some time with us this evening. We have a great program planned on dreaming, exploring, and discovering with Member Choice Vacations. So before we get started, I do want to let everyone know you're in listen-only mode. If you do have questions during the program, please feel free to type them questions in the question panel on your screen, and we'll entertain questions at the end of the program. Additionally, I want to let everybody know, in addition to the promotions and savings that will be offered this evening, AAA is adding to that with $100 per booking on any new Member Choice Vacation booking in 2021 or 2022. And that expires on the 9th of April. So, you know, it's been a long time since we've been able to travel. A lot of trips and vacations have been paused over the last year, but things are looking up. A lot of vaccines are out, and we have folks that really want to get back into exploring not only our beautiful United States, but the world. So again, we have a great program planned with Member Choice Vacations. Kevin Ferguson is the Business Development Manager with Member Choice Vacations. And without further ado, Kevin, take it away. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you very much, Brian, for the opportunity. And thank you very much for attending this this presentation here, getting you excited, getting you amped and ready to travel again. And I put the question mark up there of destination where, because we're going to talk about what's available now for literally next month if you'd like to travel, all the way into 2022, well into 2023. So get a pen out or get your camera out and take pictures of the screens. That's what I always do with my cell phone here as well. Get excited, get ready, and let's start traveling here. So again, my name is Kevin Ferguson. I'm the Business Development Manager for Central and Western New York for AAA Member Choice Vacations. Been with the company nearly going on about 14 years now. The first 7 years was as a tour manager out on the road. And believe it or not, you never know what's going to happen when you travel. Met the love of my life, Jessica, in Lima, Peru, as you can see at the bottom right-hand side, and have fallen in love with travel literally in like you. What I love about travel is the fact that, you know, you are able to experience this destination that just, there is no monetary number that you can put to it. It's just the fact where it's the only thing that you pay for that you truly become richer from at the end of the day. A little bit about Member Choice Vacations as a company. First of all, we are a club-owned entity. So AAA Central and Western New York is one of the founding members of AAA Member Choice Vacations. There is a member benefit on all of the tours. So being a AAA member is going to have its perks, plus a lot more, which we'll talk about. Our local ground operator throughout our itineraries is Collette Vacations, which is the longest running tour operator in the world at 103 years young, and much more. Now, we are also in 2020, we were voted in 2020 the third consecutive year in a row, the Partner of the Year for Guided Travel. 2018, 2019, and then 2020, even though touring had a pause in March of 2020, we were able to actually operate 40 departures from July of 2020 until the end of the year during the pandemic. But it was not only just the fact that we kept guiding and touring, but also it was how we took care of our clients and of our travelers prior to departure, and just giving the clear-cut options out there. So I will talk about the elephant in the room, which is of course the pandemic. I will go over that in detail here, but more importantly, get you excited about traveling again, because we are sick and tired of hearing about COVID and, you know, how this has changed our life literally over the last year. Even in January, Collette, that tour operator, we were still saying, hey, we know that it's that dream now, travel later experience there. So if you've seen that name, you know that you're with a quality company all in all. And again, when it comes to guided travel, kind of what's included is the fact where you're having a lot of freedom and that you have a professional tour manager who is going to be with you the entire time. You have some expert local guides here as well that are going to be really bringing in the nitty gritty, but also you have this planned out for you. And the fact that you don't have to worry about a thing, there's a great combination of, again, guided time, but free time and independent time here as well. So it's nice because you aren't just trying to wing it or figure it out here. There's many other benefits of guided travel as well. It's, of course, meeting other people here. You're not having to waste your time, because that is an essential part of our, of our lives is our time, so that you don't have to worry about the planning and the negotiating and figuring this out here. Also, again, the waiting in lines, it's like the easy pass where you're able to just kind of fly right through and get to the next spots here. And again, you're all able to just enjoy and really kind of take in the experience. One person's not driving while the other person is navigating. And as you see, many, many benefits of going guided here. As I mentioned here, that elephant in the room, and yes, believe it or not, Google Images found me a picture of an elephant in a room. So let's talk about here with the pandemic, with what 2020 really did for our year, was that we all wanted to kind of take this pill after about Friday the 13th of March last year. And in 2021, we hoped that, hey, things would just become brighter. Fortunately, with the vaccine rollout, things have really started to rebound in terms of interest over the last month and a half, more or less here. And as more people get the jab, the vaccine here, is that this crisis in confidence as well is starting to wane. But I do want to talk about what we did during this time here when we as a company had to cancel our tours, what we really gave our clients. It's a very short and clear-cut method. Options 1 and 2 here were for those that said, you know what, hey, I can't go right now, but I'd rather go on and later in 2021 or 2020. We've already moved this into 2022 for those departures in January, February, and March that were impacted, that we're still price protecting this for our travelers. An option 2 choice here of a voucher, if you were going to, let's say, going to Italy in 2020 here, but you said, I'd rather go to somewhere in the United States as well, 105% of the money that you have put into the trip already would be used as a voucher. So you've actually been able to have a little bit of earnings on or return on investment on your investment of travel. And option 3, which is, again, where we as a company had to cancel the tours, we always gave from the beginning a money back refund. We are the minority in the travel industry in this, because one of those things where this has always been a choice. We felt that the fact that if we've never earned, if you didn't travel, we didn't earn your money. We have given back over $130 million in cash refunds since this happened in late January of 2020, literally starting with China, then moving over to Italy in February here, and then really the rest of the world starting in March of 2020 here. So this is one of those things where, again, knowing that this is an option just because things in 2020 were very fluid and flexible, the name of the game for 2021 will be the same, that you need to be flexible, going with the flow. But also 2022, we do have departures and dates out there. There is time. So in terms of the booking and planning and confidence, this is really that opportunity. You tuning in and learning about this now, you are the smartest people in Central and Western New York, because you are wanting to, make sure that being the early bird, that you really do get the travel worm here. Having the flexibility of knowing that up to 60 days prior to departure, if you need to change your tour or the departure date for any reason, no questions asked, 100%, there's it's a no change fee. 100% of that money can be used towards that. or our travel protection plan, which is another nice word for insurance. It's better to have insurance and not need it than need it and not have it. And here, our travel protection plan is literally to the day prior. You have to cancel for any reason, no questions asked, 100% cash back refund. Not a coupon, not a voucher. And as I said, any reason literally means any reason. So yes, the C word, COVID, or or bad hair day, or sick cat, or whatever the reason, it is covered. And of course, while you're on the road, you do have coverage in those things here as well. Since July of 2020, as I had mentioned earlier, we really started our wellness measures to help to mitigate how things are going to be, because we realized that we needed to operate in an environment where COVID and this pandemic exists. If we're able to mitigate it, if we're able to plan things out here, we wanted to show you here some of the different things that we have done on tour here. Again, the face coverings, the enhanced cleaning. In the current state for departures, because we will be back and running tours again starting next month in April and in May, is that we will be doing things at a half capacity on the motor coach. I will tell you though, things will change, just like the airlines are changing as more people get the jab, is that we will be ramping up to get back to pre-pandemic. So we will most likely, by the time, if you are one that are planning on traveling in the fall or definitely into 2022, I don't want you to have that sense that, oh yes, it's only going to be half capacity. Things will change, and that's one thing I do want to note. What is going to continue for the foreseeable future, though, is that while we are on a motor coach here, is that masks are going to be required while we are on that motor coach, while going from place to place there. So that is one thing. I will tell you this though, is that in terms of seeing the standards, because what I say now to you may change in 3 days, definitely in 3 weeks, in 3 months. Take a look at our website, which is memberchoicevacations.com/traveling well. Your travel advisor, your travel consultant at AAA Western and Central New York can also give you this information here of this here, because this is going to be where you'll be able to find out more about the frequently asked questions and so on and so forth there. But when we started touring in July all the way until the end of the year, we did surveys of how it looked like. And as you can see there, between almost a little over 90% had an excellent overall tour experience. 100% of our guests felt comfortable while traveling on the road, and about 83%, 4 out of 5, felt that the measures that we put out on the road did not negatively impact their tour at all. So that's some great feedback. And again, just having that reassurance and knowing that, hey, this company has done this, they've vetted it out, they've put these different features in there. We're working with the CDC, local governments to, again, abide by their rules to see how things go. And again, our website, AAA.com/MCV, you'll see right up at the top there, it shows commonly frequently asked questions. You can click on that. If you want to see what it looks like to be out on the road, there's a video with a travel advisor just to show you how it was like. And again, these frequently asked questions, as you can see right here. In terms of the questionings that we get, and I will, instead of, as I said, I don't want to get too much into this, but I do get the question here. Number one, are you making it, as a company, are you making it mandatory for people to be vaccinated before going on the road? We are not. And the reason why is because vaccinations are personal, travel is personal. And, obviously we encourage it and things like that. There are going to be, lots of moving parts here as we get towards that herd immunity status on this. There will be questionnaires that you're going to get prior to your journey in your welcome packet that you receive from Member Choice Vacations here. But we know, and we encourage you to, to travel and travel safely and healthfully there as well. Just to show you some shots here, this is our tour manager, Beth, who was out on the road back in July of 2020 doing our South Dakota Black Hills and Badlands tour. By the time that we got into September, though, we scrubbed that tour because of the fact that the cases had spiked. So we are monitoring things at about 30 to 45 days out to see if a tour is going to depart or not. And reason why is, again, things are changing literally every day of where we can go in and where we can go out. And again, we want to do this safely that you can enjoy. Now, kind of looking at 2021 and my global magic crystal ball, I want to show you, and get your pens ready or get your camera ready. If you are itching to get out right now and you said, hey, I'm vaccinated, or I'm ready to go here, here are the places that you are available, that is available. It's guaranteed. We have great availability, low numbers on the departures right here as well in terms of amount of travelers. So again, the social distancing, of course, we're going to be employing those different things here, but there are destinations that are both domestic and in fact international, both Costa Rica as well as Panama. We do have departures available. So if you want to get that warm, fun, and sun, but more, we have it available for you. And a lot of the places, as you can see, are listed here are in the United States, because there is no place like home, literally speaking there. Some other little parts of that, as you can see, we have everything from single hotel stays like Spotlight on San Antonio available, to our explorations, which is a small group lineup tours here as well. Generally, in a pre-pandemic environment, you'd be looking at on average of about 15 travelers on this. Again, this is it's like a pre-pandemic backyard barbecue, as I say here. So if you like the opportunity to be able to be the first ones back out there to travel again, we've got it for April. When it comes to May, and you might be going, Kevin, oh my goodness, who are people actually booking today for things next month and in 2 months' time? Yes. Why? Because always that age-old question when you go to the doctors and they've asked you, have you been out of the country in the last 14 days? And you said, I haven't been out of the county. That's literally why I had to put the I leave New York at the bottom right-hand side of the screen here, because people are itching and ready to go and ready to travel, me included. I highlighted Iceland on this because literally this was opened up to us today as a, hey, yep, you know what, we've got the okay from the government and we're working with our local ground operators in Iceland. And so this is stuff that is literally changing by the day, by the hour here, working with your consultants at AAA Western and Central New York branches, or the virtual agents, or the call center. Please reach out to them. They have the most up-to-date information for you, because we know how stressful it's been for the last year. Don't put any stress on yourself by just trying to wing it and figure it out yourself here. But lots of places, the cowboy country, or Hawaii, New England, and of course, places like Colorado Rockies available here for May. And Mackinac Island with the Grand Hotel where we're staying there, and the Tulip Time Festival. Some little perks here about Member Choice Vacations: on all air-inclusive bookings, we have a private sedan service that will pick you up at your house within 50 miles of the Buffalo, Rochester, or Syracuse airports. No, this is not an Uber. This is not a Lyft. This is not Tom's Taxi. This is a private car service that, again, it helps to just give you that amazing beginning experience and end experience when you're coming to and from a trip here with AAA Member Choice Vacations. Now, my highlight that I want to talk about here for 2021 travel, and really kind of that impact of what we're seeing this from a 40,000 foot view, is on the U.S. national parks, on places out west. I did show you some things that are departing in April and in May that were in the deep south, like our Southern Charm Tour, Georgia and South Carolina, Jekyll Island. But usually, and I can tell you this, year over year, is the fact that there's so many things to see out west. And that being said here is that availability, because of the fact that, you know, Europe is currently off limits for travel, especially for guided travel and things like this here, is that people want to stay close. They want to be able to see what's in their own country here, and we want to be able to provide that there. There are very limited spacing available for accommodations and other spots here. So that's why it always is great to go on a guided experience, because we already have that inventory that's available, so that, again, you're not the one making calls and just having the rejection letters show up saying, sorry, there's nothing there for you. Sorry, there's no room at the inn. National parks, as I mentioned and showed you on that May slide here, this has been in our top 3 for the last 30 years as most popular tours, says right here. It's a trip that gets better and better and better. Why? Because of the fact of the ground that we are covering and the topography changes, the geology changes, the history that is all out here from Arizona all the way to South Dakota. Here, some of the perks on this: staying at the Grand Canyon South Rim, not outside the park, but staying at the Grand Canyon. A 2-night stay just literally about a mile outside of Zion National Park. Well, why not inside Zion? Well, because there's only one place, and it reminds me of my freshman year dorm at Plattsburgh State University. It's really, really bare bones. That's why we're not staying at that spot just inside the park. We're staying outside to give you that beautiful experience there of seeing those 2,500 foot tall cliffs that you see right here on this photo. Absolutely amazing. Here, we also will have a 2-night stay up in Jackson Hole. We'll be staying in Cody, which is just outside of Yellowstone National Park. And this is a place that was, again, impacted by the overwhelming insurgence of travelers out west here this year. So we could not, and most other operators in the industry cannot get any spacing at the inn. So we made that decision here, but we will have proper touring and experiences here at Yellowstone. You know, in Zion, Bryce, to see the Bighorn Mountains in Sheridan, Wyoming area, and finishing out in the Black Hills and Badlands of South Dakota. So again, some of the highlights here on this trip, and it's a tour that really to the core and personally speaking, I'm having my parents do this trip. They're doing it in July. They were supposed to do it last year. They were supposed to go on an early May departure, but my dad said, hey, I want a little bit more time. We get it, we understand it, but we want you to be able to travel and see the world when you can and while you can. So take these opportunities now. Whether if you don't want to do this in 2021, I get it, I understand it, but put this on your travel to-do list for 2022. Again, Sedona, where the sun shines over 300 days a year, which is, again, more sunshine in Florida. The Grand Canyon, and being able to overnight at the Grand Canyon South Rim is an amazing experience. Your friends that don't travel this year and they see your pictures on social media or later on they'll ask you, how was it? Your 3-word response will be simply, you missed out. You missed out on an amazing experience. Having a lake cruise out on Lake Powell, an amazing part to and a wonderful way to start the day with that breakfast cruise. Bryce with the hoodoos, these red rock pinnacles that were created by wind and water erosion here. Ebenezer Bryce, who it's named after, was a Mormon pioneer that came out here, and he wrote in his journals, it was a hell of a place to lose a cow. I think we can all agree on that. Glad we're not doing any hurting here. But what you'll be able to be glad that you're doing is living, experiencing Zion National Park here in southern Utah. As a AAA member, you're going to be able to have a member benefit of $50 per person on all of our tours that we have. We have over 170 different products on all 7 continents, 62 different countries. Another update that I want to make sure that you have and you're aware of is to get your real ID updated here. Because on or after October of 2021, it will be mandatory. Otherwise, you will be needing to carry a passport with you. A shorter version of that national park trip, that big granddaddy trip, is our Canyon Country tour here. And what it is it's going to be more condensed, focusing in on Arizona, southern Utah, and finishing in Vegas. So we'll be doing that overnight stay at Grand Canyon, a 2-night stay at Lake Powell, finishing with a 2-night stay here at Zion National Park with Bryce Canyon National Park. And I should mention here, our final night is going to be at the Luxor Hotel right on the Strip in Las Vegas. And the reason why we finished there, simply put, is because of the opportunities of being able to fly out of McCarran Airport rather than backtracking all the way back down to Phoenix. If you want to go a little bit further north, America's cowboy country, this is going to be really focusing on Wyoming and South Dakota here in flying right into Jackson Hole and finishing right out of Rapid City. Some of the places and things that we'll be doing along the way, whether it's a chuck wagon or going to learn about the Black Hills Gold. This is the area where General Custer started surveying back out in the 1870s. That is not where he had his last stand. That's in Montana. But here, Jackson Hole, and this whole other part of the country, if you've never been out here, I call this the Paul Harvey experience. It is the rest of the story that you've always said, oh, I'd love to do that someday. Do it. Get it, live it, because again, that's the thing, is that travel isn't, we get tired of buying stuff. Start buying and start investing in your experiences here. As I guided this trip for 7 years, I had so many people from out east that said, oh gosh, why didn't I do this earlier? And I said, I don't care why you didn't do it earlier. I'm glad that you're here now. And I think especially after this year, we've learned how fragile life is and how important it is to just have these experiences more than anything else. Grand Teton National Park, just outside of Jackson, Wyoming, 40 miles up the road, you're in Yellowstone National Park, where 1/3 of the world's geological phenomenon, the thermal features, all of that is happening. The other 1/3 is happening over in Iceland, which again, we're opening right up. We're hearing about it in the news this week as well, with the eruption going on here as well, in just outside of Reykjavik. But this is the stuff that really you are bringing history, science, all of that stuff to life, and there's something for everyone here. Also, stateside California, brand new tour to this year. And I want to focus on this because it has that 2-night stay just outside of Yosemite National Park. This is a game changer, really, because of the fact that most people, if they're doing it on their own, they can't get the spacing to stay in Yosemite or just outside. They're doing a 7-hour, 8-hour round trip day from San Fran out to Yosemite, seeing a couple things and then having to come back. That's not the way to experience it. So literally those multiple night stays, you see that arrow right by Sacramento, that is for a choice on tour. If you want to do one thing and your traveling companion wants to do another, great, go back, compare notes. You're not paying an extra dime for doing so. Having a lake cruise up at Lake Tahoe, also finishing up right at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco. Really, this tour is geared towards somebody who has already been to San Fran in the past, but really wants to see the rest of California. And of course, can't forget the Napa Valley. There is a post-tour extension that's available for you. So if you want to do an independent stay there, work with your travel advisor at AAA Western and Central New York. They can help you with those little things there to really kind of customize it in a sense as well. Now, here are some of those shots, El Capitan and seeing Half Dome and so much more. And there's that choice on tour. As a company, Member Choice Vacations has over 80% of their itineraries with one, if not more, choices on tour, where again, we're not the cheapest company, we're not the most expensive company, but when it comes to quality and value and what you want and having that kind of individuality and choices, we supply it and we offer it right there for you. So either a museum tour or the railroad museum tour there. There is a pre-booked optional tour of your choice credit that's available for you. Now, this is for something that you said, oh, I want to do something a little bit extra. And I'll show you that when we get to Hawaii in a moment. But here is that we want to tell you that these options, this trip is like a big fat piece of chocolate cake that you're going to receive, that you're going to have anyways. The extra sprinkles and frosting, so that's that option. And if we can give you a little bit of a credit ahead of time, and also this helps you to be able to plan and to budget yourself, it really just is another benefit for working with your AAA travel consultant. Alaska, we know if you are an Alaska cruiser, your last 2 years have been definitely impacted on this. We do have a summertime tour that is available for you in from June all the way to September, and it's really going to be hitting on the places that you want to see on the land. So for example here, a 3-night stay up in Fairbanks, then we're going to be taking the train down to Denali, 2-night stay there, experience and have that full day to just enjoy that tundra wilderness tour, get to Talkeetna, I'll show you a photo of the hotel that we're staying there, 2 nights in Anchorage, and then through Whittier, we're going to actually do a cruise, just a day cruise out and to see the glaciers that are out there in Prince William Sound as well. We'll be going on a riverboat up in Fairbanks to kind of get a glimpse of everyday life in Alaska's rivers. Also beholding the beautiful scenery as we have this deluxe dome rail car on our way to Denali to have that experience. We have a choice on tour, so which is again, if you want to go on an easy hike with your tour manager, you can, or if you want to take a bus into the park where a ranger will introduce you to the park's sled dogs, that's going to be another choice there for you. We continue down to Talkeetna. Again, population less than 1,000 people. And when we talk about safety, and if you're wondering about your COVID figures and stuff like this, Alaska is the most fully vaccinated state in the United States. So there's no better place that if you want to stay in the United States, definitely consider this year and make it your year to travel. Here we're going to overnight at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge here. Unforgettable place here. It's perched right on a ridge, offering unbelievable views of Denali. And oh, if you're going, Kevin, what about wintertime? I was listening to that AAA travel talk today, and Elizabeth Carey talked about seeing the Northern Lights. We have a very similar itinerary in the wintertime where you have that opportunity. You can even couple it with the Iditarod dog sled race. So if this is just a shot of this here, but taking the Aurora winter train for a full day journey to Fairbanks and up there on this separate itinerary, we have it available. And this is the stuff where, again, we want you to tick off that bucket list, that travel to-do list, and make this really your experience and your journeys and your life fulfilled. Hawaiian Adventure, another example here, 3 3-night stays on this. So if you are a cruiser that said, oh, my Hawaii cruise was impacted, this is a land cruise. You unpack, you use the drawers, you're able to experience this, and then these 3 amazing islands here as well. You're having a tour here of the USS Arizona Memorial, Iolani Palace here, learning about King Kamehameha, getting into UNESCO World Heritage Sites here. This would be stuff that, generally speaking, if you were on a cruise, this would probably be an optional tour. We're not making these options as a part of the experience. Getting to Rainbow Falls here, going to a macadamia nut factory, or learning about coffee here. And again, having an option, remember I just mentioned that $50 credit, this would be one of those options available. This is a sunrise tour over Haleakala. And of course a luau. Why? Because you're in Hawaii and it's included. So these are some of those things here where really we want to just put it right out there for you there and make you know that, hey, your experiences are our value and on that. Again, whoops, sorry about that. Got a little excited with this screen there. We do have pre-nights available, post-nights available on many of our places, not only domestically, but around the world here as well. An extension, like I just mentioned here in California, unique dining experiences where we might have a progressive dinner where we take the appetizer in one little trattoria in Italy. We will then have our main course at a restaurant, and we have our dessert right across the street at a little place there for your dolces. This is an example of a dining experience, or a diner's choice at Lake Louise at the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel on our Canadian Rockies trip. We want you to understand that this is not that idea of just, oh, this is the buffets and the guided touring of my parents when they went to Europe 40 years ago. No way, Jose. Now, I want to tell you, and again, these are the hot destinations literally globally that we see out there. And again, take a picture of this. If some of these are resonating with you already, you are not alone. And that's the thing here, is that take this opportunity while people emerging from this 1-year hibernation of travel and more to start planning what's on my to-do list right here. But you can see there's a lot of places outside of the national parks in North America that, again, we can provide here for you at Member Choice Vacations. Again, those small group tours here, spotlights, which are 1 hotel multi-night stays. We even do river cruising as well. So whether it's the Rhine, the Moselle, the Danube River here, and many more. We do have these itineraries with amazing value to it for you. Now, 2022, what are we seeing? And again, I want to kind of give you this 45,000 foot view of what's in demand. Again, what we are seeing is, of course, the classic Europes like Italy and Ireland, but we are also seeing people that said, look, you know what, I may have renovated my kitchen in 2020, but I want to make this and invest my year in something that's going to give me profound glory and joy here. So whether it's Machu Picchu, Galapagos, Patagonia, which is the photo in the top left there, just below that with the beautiful blue skies and clouds, that's New Zealand. I didn't want to have it just a photo of a kangaroo and say, hey, here's Australia, New Zealand. People go to Australia, and I'll tell you this, they come back and say New Zealand was the jaw-dropping scenery that I really blew my mind. So if you've seen movies like The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbits or Harry Potter, a lot of that stuff here was filmed in these regions here as well. And again, the Northern Lights. I'll show you this in a second here, but we have Northern Light tours that are available not only in Alaska, but we also have them in Iceland. We have them in Finland as well on our small group lineups, which is explorations. Also experiences, Oberammergau, the Passion Play, which I'll show you in a moment, but Floriade, Oktoberfest, safaris, and Oberammergau is a passion play that's done every 10 years. The last one was done in 2010. It was supposed to happen last year in 2020. It's been moved to 2022. There is an offered incentive on this if you are interested in the half dozen itineraries that have this feature here in this little German town. And again, amazing experience there. There's 2,500 actors on the stage, and they all come from this little small town of 5,000 people. How do you figure? Well, they've had to have either been living there for a minimum of 25 years in Oberammergau, or they were born in this small village. But again, an amazing story on this. If you are one that likes theater and the shows are religiously inclined, something to definitely take a look at. Floriade, this is something that is going to be geared towards your horticultural and architectural lover here. So this is not just a flower show, but we have 4 itineraries that are going to be featuring this here. It takes place just outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. And we do have some shows that are going to be, some itineraries that are going to be combined with the Chelsea Flower Show in the UK, and this is again a once every 10-year event. Explorations is that small group lineup I just mentioned here earlier, and really this is kind of that off the beaten path here that again, if you really want to dig in to a country or a culture, this is small group travel that averages around 13 to 15 travelers, maximum size, and this is this is of course pre-pandemic as well, and the same now. 19 to 24 travelers on this. Some of the places that we do, this could be everything from our Alaska Iditarod and Alaska Northern Lights to the to an African safari on the plains of Africa. I did want to show you that Finland experience where we stay at the Kokslotten Resort here. 1 night stay over on in our Kilo, I should say, in our Igloo Dome Hotel right here. Our other 2 night stays are in a beautiful little Finnish cabin right here in the woods. And just imagine you're sleeping here in these. This is what you would see generally on many an evening in northern Finland on this. This is that wow, cool experience. If you're of Irish descent like myself, I'll tell you, we got a lot here in central and western New York and upstate New York here. We have small group touring that gets out to places like the Isle of, I should say here, out to areas outside of Galway, out to Westport, other little villages. So if you've done Ireland, you've done Italy, you've done those larger towns. We really wanted to bring you into some of the nooks and crannies of these areas. Italy, for example, people will go back again and again and again, and you can see it's very small compared to the United States here, but take this opportunity in 2021 and beyond to experience this. And us at Member Choice Vacations, during the pandemic, we did not take a break with our itineraries. These are brand new itineraries, and the next couple slides, these are all small group experiences. So if it's going back to Ireland, but going up into the north of Ireland, and you can see some of those shots there, really getting into areas up by the Enniskillen Peninsula and the Giant's Causeway area, multi-night stays. Netherlands, Belgium, and France. This is one of those tours there that we also have combinable with the Floriade trip. Scotland and England. Scotland is super hot. It was prior to, I should say, not temperature-wise, but super hot in popularity. We have an itinerary that is, again, a small group tour that really gets into some of those little smaller towns, and again, gets away from the concrete jungle of some of those bigger cities here as well. Of course, with Edinburgh and London, we're there. But on the other hand, they are charming, charming little places that we're going to be in between. Same with other spots throughout Europe, doing the Alps to the Dolomites with multi-countries, but also getting into Sicily and into some of the other smaller spots here, even Malta, which is a very, very special area. For those of you who have been to Mykonos in the Cyclades in the islands of Greece, this is a very similar spot here, just in terms of the vibe that you get. And again, Italy, a place like Amalfi d'Apulia, really that Rome South experience is going to get you back into that area that I always tell people, this is that Italy that still does that kind of siesta in the afternoon, and you still see the Nonna who's sweeping out her front porch. Completely different vibe than if you were in Venice or in Milan to the north. The Balkans, this is a new destination, but for somebody who's been to Italy and they said, I want to see something that's very unique to, it's similar to Italy in the fact that it's got the olive oil, it's got the wine, it's got, the same climate and same latitude, but a place that is safe, great value for money because they use the euro or they use their own currency. The Balkans are that new hot destination. Lake Bled is a destination that, when you walk into a Costco or you walk into a BJ's and you see the screensaver on the TV screens and you go, oh gosh, I'd love to go to that place someday. We are bringing you to those places at Member Choice Vacation. So many of things are coming soon for you. Now, it's offer time. Get your pens out, get your cameras out, get ready here. This is where I want to tell you about what's available, what's going to be that you can be able to take from this evening and run with. First of all, AAA Member Choice Vacations is the preferred partner with AAA and the AAA Visa Rewards Card for the months of March and April. So if you need some time, you got some time here in April here as well. It's 5 times the points. And so if you're a points guy like myself, it's a great way to earn an unbelievable amount of points. And this will help get you cash back towards things in the future here as well, and exclusive savings as well for you on this. Work with your consultant. You can just go to any AAA branch from Watertown to the Syracuse area, Rochester, Buffalo. They can take care of that for you and get you signed up. Also here as well, we have savings for Oberammergau, that passion play. It is AAA Ober 10. Has to be signed up by the end of April. But for the months of June and September, it's $200 off a person. For the months of May, July, and August, it's 10% off on that there. So again, we want you to be able to experience this because the next time this is going to happen is in 2030. Now, on over 110 itineraries, 113 to be exact here, there is going to be an offer available on select dates. Your consultant at AAA Western and Central New York will be able to tell you which dates work for you, but this is going to be anywhere from $100 up to $500 off. domestically speaking, could be a couple hundred, could be $100. Europe as well, several $100s off. Some of the places in exotically speaking here, for instance, Australia, New Zealand, and this is for departures well into 2022. Into 2022, it's up to that $500 off there. The code is Save Mar, and your travel consultant will have this code available as well. But jot it down or take a snapshot of that screen there. If you need more time in April, we are not going to forget about you. All we do is we change that from Save Mar to Save APR, and you have that offer available for you on over 100 itineraries across the globe. So, in sum, remember this. At the beginning, I asked you to dream, explore, start discovering. Hopefully you did that today. Hopefully you X'd out that question mark that's there. And remember this is, what are you waiting for? The best time to travel is while you can. Again, contact or go into any of the branches. All of them are open here. Again, or you can call in to our call center at 855-862-6651. And I want to open the floor for any questions that may have come through. But once again, thank you so much for getting excited, getting ready, getting amped to travel, and know that 2021, 2022 are going to be your years.
Kevin, thank you so much. What a great program. It really, Member Choice Vacations has taken such care and, the protocols and making people feel comfortable and safe when they're ready to travel. I know my bags are packed as well, and you hit on a lot of highlights, and, some of those photos in Alaska, so true to form. I think that it's really, really spectacular. A couple questions coming in. One is, when are the Finland Northern Lights tours?
Yes, so great question. Those Northern Lights tours, and generally speaking, the Northern Lights, that phenomena will happen from about September to March. We really start amping up, and I would personally put that suggestion in terms of time-wise from about November to March. We do not, the reason why we do not have any operating tours in September and October is because a lot of it is dependent on having some snow cover. And we know that just like we had here in upstate New York, last couple of years has been a little bit light compared to other years. If it was me signing up saying, I want to do this, I would be looking towards January or February timeframe there on that. There are still opportunities of seeing the lights here in March. It is on a scale, it's almost like a UV index scale, and again, it's Mother Nature putting its, really putting the control on it. But I would tell you this is that early part of next year, and that's usually what we're seeing, is a great time to plan because it's having a little bit of snow on the ground really creates a better ambiance and a better experience.
Sounds great. Thank you. Any details for Alaska in 2022? Now, I know you're focusing on Alaska for later this summer and early fall, but programs out yet for 2022?
So we have I'm going to start with the Alaska Northern Lights tour first, and that is going to be operating in the months of February and early March, if I'm not mistaken. The focus is going to be, I believe, on the month of March. The reason why here is that, again, spacing is limited, extremely limited up there with some of the hotels that are actually open during the winter time. So it's not something where it's, hey, the crowds may be there. It's the availability of having something that is a hotel that is of caliber and of quality experience there. We do have those dates, again, working with your consultants, again, for that kind of late February, March timeframe there. We do have it coupled with the Iditarod dog sled race, as I mentioned there. So we will have a couple departures right around that time frame there. For anything beyond February, I should say, for the summertime tour, if you're looking at that June to September, do we have anything yet in terms of the dates? At this point, not yet. But what we can do is we can set up what we call a generic reservation for you, and that working with your consultant, basically it gives you the right of first refusal. As soon as they get the dates, we supply them to the agent, who then supplies it to you. We will have basically, hey, does this date work for you on that? So if you are looking out well into 2022, that would be my suggestion on that. This tour though, this June to September, really it has started to pick up in popularity over the last month because of the closures of the ports there. So if it's something that you go, hey, I don't want to do this in 21, I would definitely set up that generic hold for something in 2022 if it's something that's right up your alley.
Great, thank you. And
most
typically,
likely same, as I say, and most likely roughly the same style of itinerary. We do, I was going to say, the other thing here as well, we do have an Alaska and Yukon itinerary that is available. The challenge with that this year, though, is again crossing into the border into Canada, and so that one, that's why I'm not mentioning to it. So if you have old brochures and stuff like that, that's why I'd really kind of focus on the stuff that is just within the state of Alaska at this time.
Great, thank you. And typically the cruise tour season is early May to early September. So, you know, you're hitting your land right in the center of that and going a little beyond. So, you know, that is really peak time to go see Alaska. So, a question, you mentioned the personal transportation from your home to the airport.
Yes.
Is that good if you're leaving from an airport not in New York State? So that's actually an offer for member choice vacations, irregardless of where you travel from, correct? It's just the distance from your home.
92 gateways across the country, this is available. So if you are a snowbird in Florida, you winter in Sun City, Arizona, wherever, we do have those contracts with, you know, Phoenix Airport and a number of different airports, as I said, nearly 100 airports around the country. So that is one huge benefit on that. If you are traveling from one airport, your traveling companion is flying from a different airport, you're staying in the same room. Again, what we do have is we have that available for them. You would both have that sedan service available, again, if they're flying out of those 90 plus gateways. And that's a huge, you know, again, a huge game changer and perk there. If you decide not to use the sedan service, we will also credit you for non-use of the sedan. So that is something there that's again a part of it. But we don't just sell an airline seat. We'd rather kind of let you know we have a full transportation package with the door-to-door sedan service. Again, when you get into the destination, you have the transfer from the airport to the hotel back to the airport, and the return to your home. So again, really making it as turnkey and as stress-free as possible for you.
That's terrific, thank you. And the information on the Iceland tour, that is in your electronic brochure, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's one thing here as well, is that we do have in the offices, we do have some 2021 and 2022 brochures. They're very, very they are more on the pictures and have the highlights, but in terms of itineraries, how the day-to-day flow goes, stuff like that, you know, you can do your research. I always say that the internet is for looking, but working with your travel consultants, because it doesn't cost 1 cent more. It doesn't cost a dime more to work with a travel consultant. They're the ones that I always say, you know, go to them for the booking, because they're going to be able to give you all of the nitty-gritties and all of the other things that will really help you out there. Those itineraries are all on our website. And of course, working with your agent, they'll be able to get them for you as well. But it is a wonderful summertime tour that Iceland Land of Fire and Ice operates usually from about May to the end of September, and then it switches over to the Iceland Land of the Iceland Magical Northern Lights from September into March of 2021. So stay tuned. And that's the stuff here, is that things are going to be evolving daily. What might not be operating right now, today, give it a month, give it 3 months, give it 6 months for sure. Because that's the thing, is that, you know, we want you to be able to plan. You already know that if we as a company have to cancel the trip, you've got those 3 things to back you up there. So if you're one that's already signed up on things, do not hit the panic button prematurely. We are not going to put you in a destination where, oh, when you arrive, you're going to be quarantined. No, we're not going to do that for you, okay? So these are the things that just rest assured that you're not having to freak out or worry about here, is that really Member Choice Vacations and AAA Western and Central New York, we're on your side here to make sure that you have a trip of a lifetime.
Terrific. Well, that appears to be all the questions at this point. I would like to thank you, Kevin, and thank all our viewers. If you do have additional questions, please feel free to contact any of our AAA travel advisors. They have experienced the product, they know the destinations, and they're more than happy to assist. As Kevin said, things are changing regularly. Please be in touch with us. We really want to make these opportunities happen for all of you. And don't forget about all the promotions that Kevin said, and the additional $100 from AAA as well. So now's the time to plan so you get the best availability and the best pricing. So with that, everyone, have a great evening. Kevin, again, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Happy traveling, happy planning.